into On the Record. Here we're live at the Humboldt Public Library, and this mic is on, so I'm not sure what's going on there. All right. Sorry about that. On the Record is live at the Humboldt Public Library this morning. Appreciate you joining us. It is a little bit cool and damp out there, but school takes place inside, so we're good, and academics is going on. And thankfully, we're not having the sickness like other schools are having right now as far as the magnitude. I know we've got 3 or 4 schools in our area that have had to shut down, but Humboldt City Schools is healthy, and we're trying
to stay healthy. That's what
right.
we want for our students to be able to be at school and be on track,
That's
and
right.
Want them to be able to be at school in a safe place where it's warm and that they're not sick. So
that's right. We got Miss Emily Burleson here. She's with Humboldt City Schools. We're also going to be sitting down playing an interview actually from a interview I did yesterday with Heather and Delaney, the band directors with Humboldt City Schools, and then we'll also talk to George. So I know you've got a lot to get to,
Sure.
events that are coming up.
Yes. Okay. We've, every week we say, man, it's a whirlwind because everything goes so quickly. So we've had a good week at school, and a lot of students working hard, making sure they're getting ready for, they work for the break. So they've got a few weeks until President's Day. That'll be the next break that we'll have.
Sure.
But students are working hard. Teachers are working hard. But tonight we do have a school board meeting for our February meeting that takes place tonight at 6:30 p.m. at the Humboldt Junior Senior High School Library. Okay. It's open to the public.
Sure.
And there's a lot on the agenda. If you want to know what's on the agenda, it's been posted on our Facebook page. So if you would like to see that, it's there as well.
All right.
So some other things that are coming up. Pre-K registration is just around the corner. And so that is February 26th. That's from 8 to 5 at Seagull Primary School. And this also includes the Montessori program. Okay. And I can't express how much I love the Montessori program. And if you're interested and want to know more about it, they will be willing to help you out and know the ropes. It's not for everybody, but we are one of the few public schools in Tennessee that has a Montessori program. Yeah. And it is a wonderful foundational program for our students, and that they can take on for a lifetime, Yeah. And so it has a great philosophy. It's a great learning atmosphere, like every classroom is, but specifically the Montessori classroom. Sure. And we were fortunate last week to have the Gibson County leadership to be able to be in the Montessori classroom, and they came and visited, and they had never seen anything like it. So it was neat to be able to welcome so many people from across the county into our Montessori program. And we have a great teachers, Mr. Adrian Dokes and Ms. Tamiko Willis. They're doing a wonderful job in there, and our students are doing a great. And it's ages 4, 5, and 6. It's a blended room. Okay. And so if you're interested in getting your child in pre-K, they can start in the Montessori program at age 4. And so they can stay in there for pre-K and kindergarten. Yeah. So if you're kind of on the verge and you're not real sure, this is the time to start asking questions. Sure. Find out about it. Sure. Come visit the school. It's great. Yeah. I love getting to be in that room and seeing the amazing things. It's a little different setup than the traditional classroom or what maybe I was accustomed to when I was in school. Right. But it still has an environment where students are learning, but they are taking a bigger initiative in their learning. There's a lot of responsibility involved. They're more self-motivated, that kind of thing. But again, I always say it's not for every child. It's not every environment might not be conducive for every child, but it's still a great program. So that's included in that pre-K registration on February 26th. So go ahead and mark your calendars. Like I said earlier, no school on February 17th, and that is President's Day. So I know we worked. Some of the students, that had that in their mind, if I can just get to President's Day, we're good. We do have some Black History programs planned for this month. And February 27th at Seagull Primary is the Black History program at 1:30 p.m. And then on the 28th, we'll have one for the junior senior high school and East Elementary that afternoon. So one at 1:15 and one 145.
Perfect.
And so we'll get that on our social media pages as well and our website. But I know that a lot of our community members like to come out. Our parents like to be a part of those. Our students are included in these, and they're participating. So we definitely want our families to get to see them participate. So those are some big dates to plan for on February 27th and 28th.
Awesome.
I do want to do a special shout out. We are announcing tonight at our school board meeting our Teachers of the Year.
All right.
But for district level, we want to congratulate Miss Tiffany Pettigrew from Stegall Primary. She's a kindergarten teacher, and she's representing the K4 band of Humboldt City Schools Teacher of the Year. And then we have Miss Chandra Macklin, who is our Teacher of the Year for our middle level. And then for the high school, Mr. Jason Wiles. So congratulations to those individuals and their hard work. And we have some phenomenal educators and can't say enough. And so that selection process becomes even more difficult, but a special shout out to them. And they'll be awarded something tonight as well. Awesome. So if you're at the school board meeting, you'll get to see that as well. Yeah. And then we want to do our Students of the Month from Stegall Primary.
Yes.
Our word of the month was courteous.
Okay.
And so I'm going to announce those students, if you'll bear with me.
Sure.
Got a few students, and I was so excited to get to see all of them. They were excited to get their award and recognition. So Camille Holloway, Mason Bivens, Jeremiah Hunt Jr., Kyron Martin, Ariana Freeman, Jace Burse, Harley Hensley, Quintel Walters, Cedarius Wade, Janelle Epperson, Michaela Flulin, Caden Rinks, Landon Lewis, Christopher Leith, Mariska, I don't know how to say that last name, so I apologize. Mariska, Brooklyn Pack, and Noah Payne. So I apologize for that last name. But congratulations to those students. So we've had some great recognition. Black History Program. Then we got Teachers of the Year. And then we've got our Students of the Month. So it's a great time. So I know we have a lot left in the show. So I'm going to stop there for today so that we allow time for athletics and the band.
Right. We got a lot coming up here. We're going to go into this interview. I know they've already made a presentation to the city board, and they've talked to the school board about this trip that's coming up to the Rose Bowl. Yesterday I said 2020. Technically that's not wrong. They'll be there on 2020, but they don't march till 2021 because it's January the 1st, 2021. You'll hear a little more about that in this interview. I want to say a special thank you to Miss Delaney Nafziger and also Heather Glenn Hoekstra. And both of those are band members. I think Heather said she had been back here for 2.5 years, and Delaney's been here for 4 years as band, and they're doing a great job. Here's the interview we sat down with them on yesterday. We're sitting down today with Humboldt High School band directors Heather Glenn Hoekstra and also Delaney Nafziger, if I'll get that out right here. Apologize. Delaney, you've been involved in the Humboldt High School band, you say, for 4 years now.
Yes, sir. I started fall of 2016.
Fall of 2016. So you've seen quite a bit as far as in the. Now, what were you doing before you became the band director here?
This was my first job. I graduated college over at Tennessee Tech. Had really no idea what West Tennessee was like, but knew that I wanted some money and a job, and so. I was lucky enough to end up in Humboldt, and definitely have had some adventures since then.
That's awesome. Now, where did you go to school?
Tennessee Tech over in Cookeville.
Awesome. Now, Heather, I know you've been here now 2.5 years. So let's talk about kind of how you got here to Humboldt. Where were you at before Humboldt?
So my husband, John, and John is also a band director. We were both in Clarksville, Tennessee, teaching. I was teaching elementary music, and he was teaching middle school band. Okay. And the principal at the time reached out to me and said that he had asked the students what they wanted in a band director when the previous band director left. Sure. And they said, "We want Miss Heather back." And he was like, "Well, I don't know if I can make that happen, but I will reach out to her." Yeah. So they contacted me. We had just had a child. We were not really planning on moving, but we decided that to come back and rebuild the program that I grew up in was a great opportunity. So that's how we ended up here. And John is teaching in Jackson, and I'm teaching here, and
So did you go to high school in Humboldt? Or?
I did. I graduated in 2008.
Okay. So you remember the glory days of band.
Yes, I have David Keltz and, and John Scruggs. Yep.
I can remember coming to Christmas concerts when Mr. Keltz was the director. And we actually had a couple of young people in our youth group that was in the band. And my dad was pastoring at that point. So we was always at those Christmas concerts. And he was a lot of fun. He was a lot of fun. Yeah. I don't know where he's at now. Is he in the area still?
He's in, like, Chicago or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's moved all over.
He's living the life. That's it. Well, let's talk about why we've got you here today, because we have an exciting opportunity for Humboldt. And I'll tell you what, when I heard the news, my first response was, how? Humboldt, 8,400 people, and we're talking about the Rose Bowl Parade. How does this all come about? Obviously, they didn't call us.
So Jeremy Tate is the person to blame at Gibson County High School. They reached out to him to see if he would be interested in taking his band to the Rose Parade.
Okay.
And he said,
sure.
I don't think we're big enough. They prefer groups in the 200s.
Sure.
And his group is a little over 100. And so he said, but we have a mass band that has been marching every 4 years together at the Strawberry Festival that Pete Evans started in the 80s. And Pete had always wished that he had taken that mass band to the national level. And so Jeremy was like, would the Rose Parade be interested in all of us applying together?
There you go.
And they said absolutely. So he sent in his first application, just had like the basics about our schools, and they called him back and they were like, we want to know more. Like, what is West Tennessee? What are your schools? He was like, I mean, we are rural West Tennessee. I literally have goats next to my school. And they were like, we'll start with the goats and move from there. So the application video, and while we were in California, all the band directors went to California this year to kind of experience everything that our kids will experience. And they loved that video. They mentioned it several times because Jeremy is in his goat barn and talks about agriculture in West Tennessee, which is what drives Gibson County, and is what we are all around. Is not a big city. We are none of us are big cities. And then goes into the band programs and how successful they have been throughout the years, and how that represents the rural part of America. And they loved us. We were actually the second band out of the 8 that they take out of the United States chosen to go.
Wow.
Behind Broken Arrow High School, which
might have been the goats that got you in, It
was the goats. Well, they asked us, they were like, are you going to bring goats to the parade? We're like, we're not above anything at this point.
I was going to say, they have goat yoga. I mean, why not? So, Delaney, I know that this is a big undertaking, and I know y'all have already went and you've experienced what the kids are going to experience. You're not the only Tennessee school that's ever been a part of this. I saw where Kingsport, I think, was a part of it this year.
Sure.
Are there any talks with them? Hey, is there anything that we could do different that would probably make our experience better, or what's the process there?
We have, there's a band in West Tennessee who went a few years ago who Jeremy Tate's been in contact with, who's been immensely helpful in kind of letting us know what was successful, what wasn't, because when Jeremy had considered taking us on the national level, it was either between like Macy's or Rose Parade.
Yeah.
And so he asked one of the directors who had done both, and he was like, Rose Parade by far, Rose Bowl has much more opportunities as far as like outside of that parade. The opportunities for students are immense. So we've gotten with that director and talked over like flights, making sure how to get there that's most cost effective and convenient for student travel. Shipping 400 total people over there is a lot of logistics.
Yeah, it is. That is crazy. Now, about how many from Humboldt will be going, you think?
We have about 25 students, and then it's looking like about 10 or so friends, family, chaperones. So we're going to be taking 35 or so from our program total.
Okay, I'm going to lob this question up there, and whoever wants to tackle it. All right, here we go. How does the music and the program come about? How does that happen? Who's doing the selections, in other words?
So we contacted a person who does arrangements.
Okay.
We knew that we wanted to represent Tennessee. Although I am not a huge fan of Rocky Top, but everybody knows it, right? So we are going to. The parade tune starts out with Rocky Top, goes into a little bit of Walking in Memphis, and then ends with Tennessee Waltz, or has a little bit of Tennessee Waltz, and then ends with Walking in Memphis. So all of those great Tennessee hits are going to be what we play at the parade. Outside of the parade, we also do a field show, which we did not know when we signed up for. Like, we found out the parade was 5.5 miles. We're like, oh my, I'm not sure that we're ready for that. And then they're like, also you do a field show at Band Fest, and we were a little concerned. It was not, when we went this past December, though, it's not a field show, like a competitive field show. It's just to show off. It's to have fun on the field. So we're going to be including some other Elvis tunes and stuff like that for that program, which will be fun. But we have somebody arranging all of those. So
This interview is playing on Thursday. I know on Tuesday I saw some posts of how that you guys were out and doing some conditioning. And,
every morning except for Tuesday mornings, and every Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons, just to start prepping for that. And we get down there and do all the workouts with them to inspire our students who are a little less eager to to work out. So it's been great.
That's awesome. That is incredible. Well, now we get down to the nuts and bolts of it. Obviously, this trip's not free, and we understand that. and you know, a lot. And Humboldt is it's a community that always has done well in supporting athletics, and so now we're stepping into a new realm here. We're not just supporting athletics; we're supporting even the band side of it, which I think also a big thing to remember is that I think we are the only Title I school that will be at the Rose Parade, if I'm not mistaken. That's cool. Which is a pretty big deal. That's a great opportunity. And a great opportunity. And when I was speaking to the Rose Parade president this year, the theme for the parade this year is about education. And he dedicated his life to public education. And we talked a little bit about our program and how he thought it was incredibly cool that somebody like us would be able to go to a parade of that magnitude. So that's very, the other programs, the county, but especially our students who would not get an opportunity like that otherwise. Oh, yeah, definitely. And some of them may have never even been outside of this state, much less out of West Tennessee. Probably over 90% of our students thought that going to Memphis was going out of town. Like, that was a big trip. So when they announced, we had to take videos of the students when they announced it at Gibson County High School about going to the Rose Parade, and our students were supposed to act really excited, but I think most of them were very overwhelmed. And one of them was like, "What is California?" That's awesome. That's where we're at. And to see the world and to realize that the world is immense and that it is not out of reach, that you can go to those places is like no other educational experience. And I'm just incredibly grateful for the opportunity, especially for our students, as an alum, as a teacher, as an educator. So those that follow us here on the Good News Radio Network know that you made a presentation to the city board. The finances side of it's going to be huge, and you're raising money. I know you've already done a donut fundraiser and some things like that. Whoever wants to talk here about what we have coming up that the community, obviously you've got businesses that need to sponsor. We need to get those lump sums. Each kid has to raise X amount of money, I'm sure. How do we do that? Where do we go from here? So the biggest way to help our students out is to donate to the Capital campaign, which is the overall cost, because as you donate to that, each student's individual cost goes down. But then our students will also be doing fundraisers, and we have several businesses who are running fundraisers for us. And all of those things will be put on our Facebook page that I created a few weeks ago. So that's the Gibson County Mass Band, and we will post individual fundraisers on
on there from the different bands, along with the fundraisers for the entire group. Yeah. And then it also features our website, roses2021.com, where you can go and find the sponsorship letter and all of that stuff. Okay. But seriously, any amount of money is important. Even $20 or $40. Every dollar that we get is a dollar we didn't have.
Right.
So.
Right. And Delaney, you may want to talk about how that the individual students are working hard toward this. This isn't something that they're just expecting to get a free ride as far as the community to do. They're working hard.
Yes, certainly. I think because $2,500 is about the cost for every student wanting to go. And so that number is one that I think a lot of our students at first couldn't even fathom. They're like, can my parents just pay that? I was like, your parents are not probably going to want to just like pull that out of their pockets. So we've had immense success with our previous fundraisers. Our donut fundraiser, we sold around 400 boxes, which was 300 more than the facility we went through could handle. So we had to scrap around trying to find someone that could, hold that many.
That's great.
Orders. Yes. So our students are working really hard. If you know a band student, they're basically from here on out should be having some sort of fundraiser. Right now we're selling cookie dough. After that will be tumblers. Okay. So if you know of a Humboldt band student, you can contact them. But if you don't know a student, you can, like Heather said, we have our personal Facebook page is Humboldt Pride Band. All right. And we are more than willing to set you up with a student if you would like to try to help someone. We have some students that don't quite have the community connections to sell as many items as others. So we would be more than glad to let you know how you can assist a personal student or the capital campaign at any level. We're able to, set you up and help you help us.
That's awesome. No, that is fantastic. Somebody wants to donate, they go through those pages, correct?
Yes.
So, all right. Awesome. Anything we've not covered today? I know we've went, close to almost 13 and a half minutes, but if there's something else we need to add, we definitely can do it.
I don't think that there is.
Yeah.
I mean, money, opportunity.
Sure.
That pretty much covers it all. And just keeping up with the process. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Heather, Delaney, appreciate you all sitting down with us today, and look forward to seeing you all in the parade. That will be a fantastic thing. One more thing. I heard that we may get a little bit of a sneak peek at the Strawberry Festival. Is that true?
Yes. We will be. We are required to have a picture of us in the uniforms that we will wear at the Rose Parade. So we are taking that picture in May at the Strawberry Festival. Yeah. And the president of the Rose Parade is coming to the Strawberry Festival. We will be hosting him. And I think he's also going to do a fundraiser for us. And he's going to go around and visit all of the schools.
That's awesome.
And we're looking forward to that.
That's phenomenal.
Showing everybody our uniforms and everything that we'll take to California from here in Little Gibson County, Tennessee.
That is incredible. Thank you all again for stopping by. And we're talking about the Humboldt Band, as well as it's going to be actually a Gibson County mass band from Gibson County schools going to the Rose Bowl Parade. Great interview there with Heather and Delaney. Appreciate them sitting down with us yesterday. And now we are back. And George Arborough, we've got a lot of games coming up. First off, congratulations. Win last night.
Yeah, big win last night for our girls.
Yes.
Our girls played a team out of, no, we know this team. It's just that we're in the middle school conference.
That's right.
And we're reconfigured a little bit, but we played Middleton last night and we won.
That's right.
So that moves us on to our next round. That puts us up in the semifinals round. It'll be played on Saturday, 4:30.
Okay.
We'll play South Fulton.
Now, if they win that game, then when do they play?
When we win that game, I said win,
win.
if you notice that.
That's
we got down February the 10th. So what's the 10th?
So
that's a Tuesday?
let's see. That's a Monday.
It's a Monday. So the following Monday, if they win Saturday, they'll play the following Monday, and they will be in the championship game. And the winner will actually be the West Tennessee sectional champion, and they'll be a state qualifier. So they'll go to the state. So
that's awesome.
2 games away for our middle school Lady Vikings. So let's
what a year they've
come
had.
out. They've had a great year, and they've had a great rebound from the past years. And our coach, Coach Terrell Green, Annette Thomas, and Dominique Shivers has done a fine job with those ladies. So we'd like to congratulate them and just keep wishing them the best as they move forward and go deeper into the tournament. And maybe we can get to the championship game. And if we win that game, we'll be making reservations for a state tournament to attend in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So we're excited about our girls. So come out and support them Saturday at 4:30. Our boys did lose on Tuesday to Memphis Leicester. Yeah. Pretty good team. You're gonna always get that competition. It's that's pretty tough and an uphill battle when you deal with Memphis. And that was a great game. We had glimpses of hope on that game, but from what I've been told, because I attended the Trenton game, played well. We just couldn't get it done, and they've had a great year. Congratulations to our boys junior high program, Coach Adrian Ingram and Coach Steve Shivers for a fine job.
That's right. So the next game would be as far as for junior high, the girls playing South Fulton. Remind us of that date again. That's Saturday.
That's 4:30. Saturday, 4:30. That'll be at Rose Hill.
Okay.
And we'll look forward to getting over and supporting those girls and seeing how they do against South Fulton.
Yeah.
And the semifinals of the sectionals
here
in West Tennessee.
That's awesome.
That
is awesome. So now moving on over to high school. The girls Tuesday night held on. They were up by 11 with about 2 minutes to go.
They did.
And Trenton clawed their way back into that game. And, man, I'll tell you what, they missed three-pointers, I think, at the end of that game.
They did.
And we won by 3. So
we won by 3,
man.
exactly.
And they had some shooters now.
Right.
Girls could shoot.
They did. But I also tallied our layups that we missed.
Yeah.
We missed some easy buckets underneath as well that could have probably gotten us that victory with a little less stress.
Yeah.
But, however, we were able to pull that out. And the young lady that shot the three-pointer at the end for Trenton, that almost went. That almost went, and then you look at the rebound. Coach Terrell Green and I were sitting on the bench of the boys, and we were talking, and, that ball bounces into the hands of a Trenton player. It was a long rebound, and you get another heave up to that basket. You never know what will happen. We could have been going into overtime.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, the Viking Angels were on our side that night. And our girls won that game, as you said, Seth, by 3, and that put us in second place.
And
in the
I think it's like 5 wins in a row for them.
5 in a row for us.
And now they have Madison coming in on Friday night. Don't get too far ahead, but they could end this season on a 6-game win streak because we took care of business last time we played Madison.
Absolutely.
All the way down at Oman on a slick court.
Exactly. And a close game again.
That's right.
Another close game. And we would like to congratulate our girls.
That's right.
And just wish them well and continue encouraging Coach Mack to push those girls to continue finishing those games at the end and having that persistence and finishing. So
you mentioned a close game against Madison,
yeah.
and they seemed like they got us off of our game that night. We played very well in the first half. We had a big lead. I mean, almost 20 points if I remember right in the first half.
We did.
Then we come back from the second half and we got away from just dishing it to Jaden and Jayla.
Exactly.
And I don't know, it was just some bad passes and that kind of thing. And I kind of noticed that trend a little bit with these girls. There was some errant passes again Tuesday night. At Peabody. And it's always in the second half.
It is. And let me just share with you, Seth.
Sure.
I think what teams have been doing is they've gotten wind that when they press us, then we don't handle the press well.
That's right.
So what we're doing, I think, as a coaching staff is making that adjustment in order for us to finish these games and finish them, in a way that they're convincing, is to work on that press because in those 2 games that you mentioned versus Trenton and versus Madison, those teams pressed us.
Now, when let's see, what was the last game we covered? Was that Halls? I think it was Halls. It was either Halls or Middleton. I think it was Halls. Halls tried that press, we moved Jaden to the middle of the court, and that helped us beat that press.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just getting comfortable with what we're doing there to overcome that.
And it's no secret. The teams in our district have begun to press us, and our coaches have begun to make those adjustments.
Sure.
As you said, moving Jaden Patrick in the middle, and then putting directly behind her, putting Jayla Cook.
That's right.
You got 2 outlet passes that you can make that we're as big as any team.
That's
and I would venture to say most little college teams around here, such as Union, Bethel, some Freed Hardman, we have that size in our interior with our girls here at Humboldt. So.
Yeah, and so these girls could end the season on a 6-game win streak. Now, a win Friday night, does that change their position placing any at all?
A win Friday night would actually put us on top.
Put us at first.
Put us on top. So
a lot riding
maybe
on that
tying with another foe, but we are right there in the driver's seat, and we fully expect to go in as a number 1 or number 2 seed, so we can get that bye in that first round.
That would be awesome.
And then move on and see how deep we can go in this tournament.
That is fantastic,
Absolutely.
folks. I know that game is an early one.
It is
6:00, but these girls deserve a great crowd. This is the final home game of the season as far as regular season. We want to have playoffs at home. But this is the final regular season home game. And so we want to encourage you, come out Friday night, 6:00. I know, again, that game, the crowd's always lower. It's because of the time.
It is.
It's nothing about not supporting the girls. It's always that time. I know you get off work at 5:30, but here's the deal. You can eat supper at the concession stand. They got some
come
great
on
stuff.
out. No doubt.
Man,
I think Mr. Wiles will be doing our concessions this time around. Our booster club with the Baskervilles, Chancellor and Alicia. I don't think they'll be in attendance. I think Chancellor's a little down on the weather, but had a little small procedure going on, but don't want to speak too much on that without knowing details and telling their business. But absolutely, we are going to have the concession stand ready to go for you guys, because we're going to do the senior night a little different this year.
All right.
We're actually recognizing the senior girls before the girls' game.
So
around 5:45, we'll be actually recognizing our senior girls.
Okay.
And while we're on this Seth, I'm just going to speak on the agenda for senior night.
Do it.
Coming up Friday, tomorrow night, we're going to recognize, as I said earlier, our senior girls first at 5:45 before our girls' game. At the halftime of the girls' game our cheerleaders will be recognized. Our senior cheerleaders will be recognized at that point. And then the senior boys will be recognized before the start of their game. Okay. So we have that all on tap to be our seniors to be recognized, cheerleaders, managers, and ball players. Yeah. And at the halftime of the boys' game, we're going to allow our little City League team that plays on Saturday mornings to come out and do a little scrimmage game and do a little showcase for us. And Greg Lennon will be actually in charge of that. So wonderful. I want to talk a little bit about our boys.
Let's do it.
Boys are it's no secret we lost a lot last year regarding our senior leadership, and this year we're learning to play basketball, and we're learning different situations, and we're in that rebuilding phase for our boys basketball team. But they continue to do well. I think we've before this last game with Trenton, we had a big win. Big win against Middleton. Very big win against Middleton. So and Gibson County. So so we before this last loss against Trenton and going down to Trenton was we knew that was going to be a tough environment. Yes. But our boys hung in there and come away a little short, but we have the postseason to go into, and we have a big game tomorrow night, Madison.
Right. And Trenton didn't lose that many players from last year either on the boys' side. That's one of the things you got to remember.
Exactly.
Madison is the same way. Madison returned, if not all, I think most of their starters. They had one guy, I remember he was really tall, and he liked to dunk the ball. And him and Anthony Jones was kind of in a dunk fest last year.
They were.
Anthony won that one hands down. There's no doubt about that. But that young man, I didn't see him. I think he was a senior. But when I went and saw that team at Oman Arena, there was a lot of familiar faces.
It was. I can't begin to think of those names.
Now,
Lawrence Peck is one of the younger kids that's a great player, and I know they're full of talent. they're favored to win our district. But we always have that optimistic outlook on things, that we could come in here on a given night. If we play well, like we played against Middleton and Gibson County, we can win ball games.
That's right,
against whoever we're up against in our district. So
with the young team, you'll have your highs and you also have your lows, and we want to get on those highs and stay there. It's the right time of year,
exactly.
And we'd love to see us do well in the district, and this is our final home game again. Please come out senior night. You want to be there by 5:30, get you a good seat, and then they'll start the activities at 5:45. You said, right?
Yes, sir. 5:45. We'll kick off our senior night activities, and move along and kind of give the senior girls, boys, and cheerleaders a little time that's exclusively set up for them.
Sure. Well, and too, if you try to do all of it at one time, that's a long time for
those
kids.
It is.
Between their warm-ups and, that's just hard.
It's a few more distractions when you have it all at one time.
That's right.
Either before a girls' game, in between the girls and the boys' game. But the way we have it, we're experimenting with this. I think the girls will like it and the guys will like it, and our cheerleaders, and that's the way we're going to handle it this year. So come out and see your seniors, athletes, and support us.
$6.
Yeah,
$6 costs, man.
The last thing I have is we have our freshman tournament. It's going to be held at Gibson County on Saturday as well.
Well, all right.
Our boys will start out at 10 a.m. and they'll play Jackson Christian School.
There you go.
So they win. They'll play again at 12, and hopefully they win that one. They'll play at 1, and that championship game is actually set up at 2.
Yeah.
Set up for 2, and all that'll be played at Gibson County High School. So girls, junior high will be playing in the afternoon about 4:30. Yeah. And then the freshman league will have their tournament over at Gibson County High School. So basketball is something, if you like it, you'll have a chance to see plenty of it and witness our Vikings as we play and close out this year on the basketball floor.
That's incredible. Appreciate you coming in and talking to us today.
Absolutely.
We'll be live tomorrow night. First off, let's back up just a little bit. We're live tonight at the school board meeting. I'll mention that. That's at 6:30. Then we go back out to the school, and we're live there tomorrow night. And I'll tell you what let's do. And I'm going to plan on trying to go live about 5:30.
Sure.
And then
we'll be
I'll
there.
take a commercial break, and then we'll come back, and maybe we can carry those ceremonies, the different ones that happen on senior night, with this being a special night, final home game. This will be the final time that we can do any kind of video on the court, because when you move past the regular season, TSSAA starts talking about that video, and
absolutely
we can't do all that. Now, I don't think they'll get upset of us just doing video of us talking, but doing anything on the court, you can get in some trouble. So we're going to make sure and stay out of trouble.
Hey, we're going to do that, no doubt.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. On the Record is comes live every Thursday with Humboldt City Schools right here at the Humboldt Public Library. It's going to re-air on the radio at 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, God bless.